Hello, it is Saturday, January 28th, 2023. I'm Chris Bremo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday puzzle today, so it may well be the most difficult puzzle of the week. It does look like a pretty open grid. Sometimes that can be difficult, but sometimes that can be a bit of a help because, there's so many crosses every which way. I don't know. We'll have to find out. This, potentially tricky edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Quotidiophile, Kathleen Quinn, Victoria Rojishka, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shulmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their ongoing support, their generous support in bringing us this series, keeping this channel going. It means a lot to me. I do very much appreciate it. If you'd like to directly support this channel by becoming a benefactor like those 5, you can join the Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Daily Solve, or by clicking the link in the description field underneath the video. Of course, as a benefactor, you will get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, but of course, as a patron at any other tier, which you can, of course, also explore through that same link, you will get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. In addition to the whole slate of videos that went up earlier in the week, there was also yesterday the latest mini puzzle speed solve, in which I solved the last week of mini crosswords. It was a surprisingly tricky, or maybe surprisingly surprising is maybe a better way to put it, week of mini puzzles for me, sort of unusual for the New York Times Mini. So enjoy that if you're a patron. Do also subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, if you've not done so. I'd very much appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who has. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server to hang out online with other members of this community. It's a nice, friendly place, and there's a link in the description field underneath the video. All right, let's get on to the puzzle. This is a Saturday crossword, so an unthemed, a themeless edition of the crossword constructed by Kevin Christian, who's constructed around a dozen editions of the puzzle, I think, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. U.S. holiday beginning in 2021. I think Juneteenth became an official U.S. holiday in 2021, which is June. Oh, now I'm gonna make a fool of myself. Is it 14th or 19th? Oh, I don't remember. Sorry. I'm very sorry. But traditionally celebrated in the African American community, and has gained, I would say, sort of a larger, broader cultural footprint in recent years, which resulted in it becoming a U.S. holiday. All right. One standing by a door is... One standing by a door. Sorry, this is probably something very obvious. I was just not seeing it. Orenburg's River. What river would this be with a U in 4 letters? I don't know. That'll probably also be obvious in retrospect. C5 down. With 3 down, the title setting of a 1937 Agatha Christie mystery. I wonder if it'll start with the murder in the something or something like that. Oh, Death on the Nile. Right, there we go. Okay. Concerned with beauty. Aesthetic? It's a possible spelling of aesthetic. That could be the answer. Ugh. Blah, maybe? I mean, I think the first thing that came to mind was Earl, but that's... Is there an Earl River? Doesn't really seem right to me. I don't think that's right. Bluish gray pet. Maltese dog? A Maltese dog's bluish gray? Oh, this could be a door jamb then. Oh, maybe it is. Or Maltese cat, maybe? Super popular, hot. Okay, right. This is coming together. Work, attract, as in a Korean, maybe, not sure. Improved as the weather, nicer. So not improved as a verb or a sort of, past participle, but rather improved as an adjective. So the weather is nicer, the weather is improved. Sport in which masks are worn. Épée. Boy, this is I mean, it's not as though this is a new word to the crossword by any means, but just in the last few weeks, I feel as though it's been in the crossword just about every other day. I mean, it's nonstop almost. This looks like first NPR reporter promoted to correspondent before age 30. I don't know. Anish, maybe? That's a name. Oh, Ari Shapiro. I have heard that name. Okay, this was the Earl River. Okay, fair enough. It was my initial thought, but I really wasn't confident in it at all. What else have we not seen? A time to dye. Easter, you dye eggs for the egg hunt, or I guess just to decorate things. Up for a drive. Teed, as in a golf ball is on the tee, up for a drive. Work is one's trade. Something that isn't assumed is, I don't know, recusal. You don't assume responsibility doesn't really fit, and it doesn't fit in the number of cells. Anyway, source of Manchego cheese. It's a sheep's milk cheese, presumably. The wee hours, so very, very early in the morning or late at night. High degree, a master's degree is a postgraduate degree. Used for freeloading. I'm not sure what that's getting at. Forever Young Band, 1984. Oh, I mean, I can hear the song in my head. What band? I don't know the band. Or maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know it off the top of my head, certainly. Still not up, say. Sleeping. Jump on board. Oh, an ollie. Jump on a skateboard. That's funny. That's a good clue. Organization that has, so ollie, a little skateboard jump. Organization that has more members in Africa than the Mideast. OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. That would make sense. Used for freeloading. So what is this? Mooch? Or something? I don't know. You freeload, you mooch off somebody. Comedian Michael Che is a comedian. That works with this. If this were an H, occur. Oh, right. If something will occur, it will happen. Forever Young Band. I don't know. This still isn't familiar to me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't know it. Still not up, say, is... I mean, the obvious bit, the bit about sleep, is there, but what's the rest of it? Sleep? I don't know. Folds could be pleats, folds in, skirt, for instance, or trousers. 2018 literature Nobelist Tokarczuk, Olga Tokarczuk, is an author who won the Nobel Prize in 2018. Okay, so, sleeping in, I see. Sleeping in, right, okay. She's still not up, she's sleeping in. There we go. Move swiftly is to flit, maybe? A sort of bird or an insect maybe could flit around. Peat sources, fens, sort of like, bogs, peaty marshland or bogland fens. Used for freeloading. Oh, right, sorry. So once again, the same sort of disambiguation as needed to happen with nicer. So I was thinking used for freeloading as an adjectival phrase. So in other words, that thing is used for freeloading. But, well, I guess it is sort of still adjectival, I guess. But no, it's a past tense verb, I guess. She used it for freeloading. She mooched off it. Right, yes. Okay, so this is a past tense verb. And that confusion was what was preventing me from understanding what we were trying to actually say here. Okay, has with on. Dined on, has some food. Forever Young Band. Alphaville, do I know this? Not familiar to me. So I guess that's just one of those songs that sort of made it into the culture, but I just don't know the name of the band. A horror movie franchise known for both its action and slapstick humor. That would be the Evil Dead series by Sam Raimi. So this is Alphaville. Okay. Put puts 1 and 1 together is, what does that mean? Puts 1 and 1 together. These are correct, surely. Has with, oh no, dines, sorry, not had, has. Well, it seems to be, tenses are just tripping me up nonstop today. So, puts 1 and 1 together. Well, you'd think adds would be this, a punny way with the question mark indicating a bit of a pun, referring to addition, arithmetic. But apparently not. Oh, weds, right? An even punnier thing here. So two individuals come together, they wed. Oh, that's very good. Okay, self-driving car company that started as a Google project. Oh, I've heard of this. I've seen, videos of these cars doing ridiculous things. Is it Waygo or Waymo or something like that? It's something to that effect. It's something around sort of going along a way and turned into a sort of a techie brand name. Window pane, there we go. Knock dead is slay. Used, I think in this context, knock dead means sort of in the context of succeeding on stage. You really slayed, you knocked him dead. Weakish hands. Weakish hands. What on earth is that? I'm not sure what that's getting at. Hope for result. Oh, your aim. So way mo rather than way go, I think. And weakish hands. Well, I don't know. C34 down. Shoe that can't be 32 across. A clog can't be laced. There we go. So clogs, sort of, solid wooden shoes do not have laces and couldn't be laced. So weakish hands. Pails? Why is that? Senesces. So ages. As in your senescence, your sort of old age. So why is... Sorry, what am I... Is this not... Pane window. Pane, that's right. Yeah, all of this looks correct. Sorry, I'm sure there's something very clear here about weakish hands that I'm not seeing. Is the word weakish something that doesn't... I'm interpreting it to mean sort of, a bit weak. It was weakish, but is there something... I don't know. Out. Get... I don't know. Walk like an elephant is to tread, to plod, maybe. That sounds plausible. Something that isn't assumed is a real name, right? You don't assume, so you could assume a pseudonym, but your real name is not assumed. Okay. They form lines for their work. They form lines for their work. Spots. Okay, I'm not sure. What about down here? If we look down here yet, square things. Acres, square acres, to measure area of a plot of land. Particulars, slangily. The deets, the details. I think that was in the puzzle recently as well. Black or green grocery items. Teas, black tea, green tea. Maybe this isn't acres. Square things, square... eponym of the world's largest tennis stadium. Oh, there's been quite a lot of repetition recently, I've noticed. Let me know if you think that's true, if you agree, or if it's always like this and I'm just noticing it recently for some reason. But it does feel as though recently there have been quite a few spates of words that get repeated frequently, and Arthur Ashe, the tennis player, has come up a few times recently, in the context of a stadium recently as well. Maybe that was in an acrostic I solved. I can't remember. But it has come up in the crossword recently as well. Okay, torn, slow-growing ornamental. What a laborer's hand might do over time. They could sort of callus up or... Oh, they could coarsen. Maybe this isn't clog. Crocs. Those have also been in the puzzle recently, at least twice in the past, I don't know, week or two. So this is weakish hands or pairs in poker or something. I'm sorry. What a disaster that was. Oof. Okay. So Crocs can't be laced. That's pretty tough because, well, it was tough because I happened to think of clogs first. If I thought of Crocs first, it wouldn't have seemed difficult. But the words, the crosses are they really allow for that ambiguity because obviously pails is also a word, but it doesn't mean weakish hands. So I should have realized that. Okay. Square things. Oh, right. I already just went past that. Disruptive board move. An ousting or an ouster, a sort of board of directors of a corporation could oust, a CEO or something maybe. What's the use, you might ask? Blast. A gas? You had a total blast, had a total gas. Heaven forbid. Goodness or gosh or something, I don't know. More than skim through. If you more than skim through something, you read it carefully or you pore over it. There we go. Okay. Whizzes are pros, people who are very good at something. Heaven forbid. God, no? Oh, right. Okay. And the heaven is actually a nice little, I don't know. It's totally consistent, I guess, with the answer, sort of subject matter overlaps, if you see what I mean. So that's often the case especially with exclamations like this. The clues will have some resonance with the answer beyond just the meaning. And I always find that a nice bit of clue construction. Props for some plays. Something, fake awards or something. I don't know why that would be the answer. His 2016 debut album, Unseated Thriller, for the most weeks spent in the top 10 on Billboard's R&B hip-hop chart. Oh, that's fascinating. It's funny, I wouldn't really have thought about Thriller as an R&B hip-hop album, but I guess I don't exactly know how that stuff is categorized. Spots. No. I heard you the first 5 times. Okay, maybe? 2 okay? So I was going to just put okay, the word, but then I realized I heard you the first 5 times sounds like the person is becoming very impatient. So, game introduced to the U.S. by Chinese immigrants in the 19th century. I didn't know this fact, but I'm wondering if it's maybe Kino, because it's a 4-letter game that starts with a K. Warcraft meanies could be orcs, so fantasy creature enemies. Take a knee. Okay, so I do think this was okay. I was wondering if that was going to hold, and I think it has. This looks like tavern. TV bar with frequent health code violations. Overlooked by the city's mayor. Oh, it must be Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. That makes sense that would be the case in that sort of world. Fore's counterpart would be aft, so fore and aft, before and after in a sort of poetic or quaint sense. Torn, on the fence. I'm torn, I'm on the fence. So that's a nice way to clue a whole phrase that way with a single word. Square things are... Okay, I'm still missing something here, sorry. Video game customization. Do I have something wrong? Maybe this isn't Moe's Tavern. Is there a Joe's Tavern from a different show? Video game customization job? You customize your job? Slow-growing ornamental. Oh, desert rose? Square things. Oh, to square things. Right. Oh, wow. Very clever clue. Extremely, really did successfully misdirect me very, very heavily. So, to square things, to atone for your sins, to square things, to make things square, to pay your debts. Wow, okay. So video game customization is a modification, and this was Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. Okay, there we have it. Wow, that was that. So it's that and this atone and croc really gave me trouble. Okay, let's keep going. Have we looked at these acrosses? I don't know that we have. Jumps out. If it jumps out at you, it sticks, or if he jumps out, he pops. Or it pops. It jumps out at you. It pops. Props for some plays. Oh, props as in, it is awards, right, but not props as in stage props, not sort of stage decor, but rather props as in kudos or congratulations. So Obie Awards, the Off-Broadway Awards. There we go. Cousin of the Spanish Chirimia or Italian Pifero. An oboe, I suspect, in 4 letters with a B as the second letter. That would be my guess. That's interesting. One of the Claremont colleges. Oh, Pomona. This is in California. They're the Claremont colleges. I don't remember what the other ones are, but yeah, Pomona is one of them, I'm pretty sure. Waterfall phenomenon. Mist. Mist certainly forms in a waterfall, or is sort of, given off. They form lines for their work. Poets, the lines of poetry. There we go. All right, I think I saw that earlier and didn't get it. Oh, Post Malone, that's somebody. Yeah, so, right, in 2016, so sort of, I think this is a, current sort of person, so this would make sense. All right, I had no idea about that fact, or even that this person would also be in these charts. But there we go, it must be the answer. Out is go away, and sets eyes on, and then product that may be sold by the yard. So a yard of ale, right? I don't know exactly how much, and how many sort of milliliters or whatever that corresponds to, but a fair bit, I would think. Anyway, there we go. That was the Saturday crossword. So interesting counterpart to yesterday's crossword. I can't really tell if I found it easier or more difficult necessarily in any kind of overall way, but whereas yesterday's puzzle had one specific area of the grid that gave me a lot of trouble at the end, this one went fine for the most part, but then there were just a few specific answers that tripped me up. It wasn't so much geographical area of the grid per se, but crock and atone just caused me all sorts of self-doubt and delay. And it was really those 2 particular things. I don't know that there was anywhere else in the grid where I remember feeling really stuck up in that same sort of manner. Yeah, a nice puzzle. Lots of there's a fair amount of pop culture in this one. I don't know if I don't know if sort of news reporting is considered pop culture, but I guess it sort of is. It's current affairs. Ari Shapiro, we had Post Malone, we had Evil Dead, and I don't know if this is pop culture per se, but recent culture, Olga Tokarczuk and Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. So, yeah, quite a Waymo. So, there we go. So quite a few proper nouns at the very least. Michael Che. Yeah, so all over this puzzle, really. And that kind of thing can really be, that can be the difference for a lot of people between a very easy puzzle and a very difficult puzzle. And if you just happen to know all of those things, often those will give you quite a few interesting and useful letters, sort of unusual letters, the V from Evil Dead, for instance. Oh, and then Alphaville. Speaking of that, there's another one, right? Okay, that's also a column in the Financial Times. Anyway, or sort of a sort of section, I guess, in the Financial Times. Anyway, there we go. That was the Saturday puzzle. So an interesting puzzle. I suspect this one has a wide range of difficulty for different solvers. That's my suspicion about this puzzle. Let me know how you fared with it. I imagine there will be a range. But that was the Saturday puzzle. Thank you so much for watching to the end of it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Sunday edition of the crossword, when we will solve a longer, more, just bigger, longer puzzle, and midweek difficulty, probably a little easier than this one, with many more cells. Hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.